A Northeast Nebraska church is in an unusual fight over its plans for a new building.
In federal court, that Walthill congregation says the village of Walthill is illegally blocking its efforts. Now, our Yetzka Warren was in Walthill this afternoon. She spoke with the church's pastor and lawyer.
And Yetzka, what's brought us to this point?
Diana, Larry, Light of the World Gospel Ministries filed that lawsuit on Tuesday, and the church's lead pastor tells me it comes after the village violated both state and federal laws. In the village of Walthill, a town of 750 people, you can find up to 130 people attending the Light of the World Gospel Ministries every Sunday.
We have a lot of local people. We have people that travel for over an hour and 10 minutes to come to the church.
The former funeral home, which sits on Main Street, was converted into a church about 10.5 years ago. Fast forward to today, the church has outgrown the building.
We have about 25 to 50 kids in our church, and as you can see, this room is not big enough to hold the amount of kids that we do have.
Lead pastor Paul Malcolmson says their efforts to expand started 5 years ago when the church purchased a number of buildings directly across the street to build the new church. That church would have been 8 times the size of the current building.
We applied for a building permit, which was originally accepted. Then 6 months later, they took it away from us.
In addition, the village denied other permits to the church that would allow them to tear down dangerous structures that could be threatening to anyone on or around the premises. Paul says while there is no valid reason for their decision, he believes the village had an agenda to stop their church from expanding.
The complaints that were made against us were religious complaints, which to me, I believe they were prejudice.
Earlier this week, the church filed a lawsuit against the village saying they violated state and federal laws.
It's very outrageous that the village would prohibit this church from using their own building that they own.
First Liberty Institute's General Counsel Hiram Sasser is representing the church.
It won't even let them tear it down, won't even let them make the types of improvements that are necessary in order to serve their growing congregation and also serve the community.
Just a few months ago, this building collapsed into rubble, and it still hasn't been cleaned up yet.
And why the village prefers safety hazards over a growing church is very confusing.
Despite their decision, Paul is hopeful that the village will come around and follow federal law.
It is not our heart to fight the village. We want to work with the village, cooperate with the village in turning this village around.
Federal law states that a village cannot stop a church from expanding its congregation from discriminatory purposes. Now, the Walthill board members are not giving any comment at this time, and I also reached out to the village's attorney, Matt Munderloh, this afternoon, but have not heard back yet. Diana.
Thanks, Yetzka.